bit of a factor in the initial phases of the fight. As long as he has mana, he's always going to be able to do some good chip damage with the Coddle around. And the 4 staff saves are kind of cutting off Savage's solo pick-off potential here. Still on the hunt though.
Find AU. Immediate TP away. Meanwhile, bottom lane, a fight to break out as they do have Hyde on the Disruptor and they do pick him off. Force will take that one on the Undying. Kill onto the Pos 5 Disruptor, not the biggest kill for Talon. They'll just immediately retreat. Makoto would be a much bigger kill, but nobody in position to catch him out. You're so reliant on Lelouch being able to jump in with the chains. That's really all you've got. There's nothing else to catch anyone. No sight devices yet either. Like a Hex would really help, but you don't have the net worth. I mean, at least Xavius is trying to get it, but it's a whiles off.
Still going to be a little bit more time until some of that's online. Polaris, they're just trying to retake control where they can. Natsumi just going back into that triangle. Farm up. Build up is coming out. He is going for the butterfly now. That will make the Luna feel like a much bigger core. That should force Savage to find a way to pierce through that evasion, cutting off quite a fair bit of his DPS. And the Lelouch doing a fine job of keeping at least one lane shoved out. So Talon aren't just choking them out completely. KP though.
Oh, jump in towards the north. Lelouch, he's a massive target. Split pushing. Talon will find him. Makoto happily taking the kill with the Sunstrike. Lelouch has been very good at avoiding these gank attempts from Talon while he's been split pushing, but this time around Savage does finally catch him.
Mindbreaker does a lot there. Just that short duration of silence is enough to find that rebound from KP to get the chain stuns off and Sunstrike damage to just clean it out. Really excellent neutral coming out here for Talon. Smoke out from Natsumi and AU. They do find the mid tower here, Talon. So off the back of that one kill, they're opening up the map a lot more their way. They'll be able to find top as well. Just without the Ember, it just doesn't feel like you'll be able to get things done. And they scout out the rush. So probably after shoving in top just a bit, in fact, no, they just rush in. Savage and KP, they're enough.
Nothing to hold them back. You've got the sidekick up, so just go for it. Shards available as well. See who they give that over to. Meanwhile, Makoto, he's got a full sight device down the Invoker. Coming on the Courier. He'll join the Roshan pit, and for Polaris, this is not something they can really afford to give up, but it seems like they've decided to just take the time, take the space, go into that dive triangle, let Natsumi farm. It's all we can hope for. The chances are you can't fight. Like this Roshan fight, there's no chance it works for Polaris.
No, it really doesn't. They don't have that much team fight on hand. They only really have what? Just sleight of fist spam and maybe an Eclipse coming out from Natsumi. They've got good area denial, I suppose, with a Tombstone and of course Illuminate.
Makoto, so will BKB TP up. AU will do the exact same. Makoto unable to catch anyone. Let's retreat from Polaris. You mentioned the butterfly being built up on Natsumi, and he's desperately trying to get enough gold to have that up. Give himself a chance of being able to go to a right-click war against Savage. But it seems like Talon, they might go high ground before he even has it up. Here we go. Alacrity popped. Savage onto Force. Will back off. All of that chipping away and just stealing stats over and over again. Once you have 2 charges of Pounce up.
Just need a few hits. Level 20 talents up for Savage. +1 per stack. Feels pretty good in these prolonged fights now for the Slark. I think the safest play right now for Talon looks to be top. Just clear out that tier 2 that you kind of left behind. And just fully shut down the map. They've got good forward wards down bot to watch if Polaris does dip outside to try to farm. We haven't yet seen that Ag Static Storm here from Hyde as well. Still some reveals to be done. And Hyde's just been dying a bit too quick. Savage all by himself. Again, as you mentioned, Mike, there's nothing that Slark is scared of. Like, Dark Pack just takes away every piece of control and just jumps around like a fish out of water.
Quite literally. Savage. Every game this grand final so far, it's been dominant one way or the other, right? Like Polaris either dominates or Talon either dominates. Haven't seen the closest of games here in this best of 5 grand final yet. Polaris, they're not out of this game number 4 yet. It certainly feels that way when you look at this 22k net worth lead, and Dota Plus is currently giving Polaris 2% chance of winning this game, which I'd say is fairly accurate right now. Because even with the butterfly up, it's like, how are you actually meant to contest the slot? I don't think Savage is going to care. It might make it more inconvenient. It certainly doesn't feel like it's going to do enough. I think if anything, the scythe device on Xavius is what you really need, and he does now have enough gold for it. Even then, though, it's not going to be that simple. Not against the slot.
You might be able to catch Savage off guard once or twice here, though. And that's the opening you really need to capitalize on. Savage, full nullifier up, does skip out on the BKB, and I like to see that. Just have a way to take out more of that Guardian Angel, have a way to stop the 4 stabs here. Going to be big for him to finally start finding some kills once more, as the 4 stabs have been doing a lot of work. Side devices you mentioned, up for Xavius, so they have some play on the high ground if Savage overextends, but he still has the Aegis. I don't see them managing to get 2 surprise uses out from the side device. Although they do have really great D-push with Illuminate, so this is a tedious process.
Well, there's one Hex, but the Dark Pack was going, so now you know the side device is there on Xavius. Now, be very careful of that now, Savage. Making sure he used that Dark Pack very efficiently. Pretty up the Siege Creep. Side kick out on Savage. He'll pop the Shadow Dance and jump it. Who are we aiming? He'll go after Lelouch on the Ember. Lelouch trying to fight back. There's your Eclipse out. It just does nothing. They have the Depth Shroud. It hides them. The Eclipse does no damage. And now it's down for 2 minutes.
That is not good news for Polaris. That's pretty much all their contribution coming out from Natsumi. So he's just off the farm elsewhere with smoke. High ground still being chipped away here.
In mid-tier 3 tower, Sage Savage will pounce away, go for the reset. He is a little bit low on mana. Be careful of that, but you've still got the Aegis for 45. He could easily just die and get the reset that way. We go again. He's there as well. Rebound is out. They've got the Coddle. That just like the Vice gone without buyback. Force, he's going to try and get something done, but it's only going to be the Aegis. And Savage wants to die anyway. He wants that reset as now the Glimpse is there. Hide, setting up onto Force, onto the Undying. He does have buyback at the very least, but there just seems to be no point in committing it. So let the mid-racks go down and hope the Talon backs off. But Savage will not. He'll go for the bot racks now.
I mean, he's got Shadow Dance back up, Death Shroud back up. There's not much to be scared of. Even a cooldown of Static Storm, it's a minute, but if they stall these fights long enough, which Talon has managed to do as well, should be back up in the middle of the next engagement anyway. Just gone for more.
All in at barracks now, Talon. So close to forcing this to a Game 5 grand final here between these two. There's your butterfly. Natsumi does have it up. No buyback gold available, but he's just got to force something. He's going to try to fight. Talon back off again. Very conservative play. 29k net worth lead. They don't want to throw this one, but they are going to go for a 5-man smoke, so maybe a bit of a fake back. You'd love to find Xavius in that Coddle, and in fact they do. Pounce is there. He is getting deleted. He is gone for 50. X is out as well. Makoto, he's going to jump in with the Deafening Blast Meteor. It's not going to be enough on Force yet. In fact, Makoto, he's getting chased down by zombies. He's going to be okay with the BKB to turn back around onto Lelouch. One side, they've got Natsumi. That's the big one. That's the Luna. That'll put an end to this game, and Savage is hitting way too hard. Game 5 on the way between Polaris and Talon. John, it's been dominant one way or the other. I just want one close game in this best of 5 grand final.
Yeah, it's been back and forth. I mean, one game Polaris looks like they just have such a great patient game.